Shalom, Ahab, Wa, Baraka. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Waha, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles, the prophets, and the teachers of GMS that haven't wavered to the left or to the right in the last 30 plus years, always bringing out 100% truth and sound doctrine. And to the sincere Akiyawa, salutations. Let's get right into it. We're going to talk about leading by example, kind of. I mean, or how about this? Whosoever will save his life shall lose it. And whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall save it. Let's keep it at something like that. So let's get started. This is 2 Maccabees chapter 7, and it reads, "And it came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh." They want them to eat pork, little strip of bacon, maybe have like a pork chop or a slice of honey roasted ham or whatever, and were tormented with scourges and whips. So they were beating them. They were physically beating them for not eating pork. Okay. But this is the story of Hannah and the 7 sons also. But one of them that spake first said thus, "What wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die, rather than to transgress the laws of our father," taking us to that precept that I read in the beginning, Matthew 16 and 25. And it reads, "For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. And whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it." So this guy's telling him, we're ready to lose our life for his sake to be found in the kingdom. We're ready to die for the truth. But if they were to conform to this king, it's telling you right here that they would lose their life. That they would, and not only is that king going to eventually take them down, but the Most High wouldn't allow them to be part of the kingdom or in the truth. Let's keep reading. "Then the king, being in a rage, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot." Okay, so he's getting these skillets nice and hot. Isn't that crazy? Verse 4, "Which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the uttermost parts of his body, the rest of his brethren and his mother looking on." So it's saying, his whole family's watching him while they're just dismembering him. "Now when he was thus maimed in all his members, and he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire and to be fried in the pan, and as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed, they exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus." So they wanted to die manfully, saying thus. They exhorted one another. So you know what they're saying? They encouraged each other to be strong, because no matter what, this guy's going to kill him. Verse 6, "Yahweh, the Lord Yahweh looketh upon us, and in truth hath comfort in us, as Moses in his song, which witnessed to their faces, declared, saying, and he shall be comforted in his servants." And what that's going into is, if you want to read it for yourself, it's literally Deuteronomy chapter 32, which is going into the Song of the Sea, or the Song of Moses, talking about, really it goes into pretty much verse 35 and 36 is what it's talking about. "To me belongeth vengeance and recompense." This is verse 35. I'm sorry. Let me be more formal than that. This is Deuteronomy chapter 32, going to verse 35, kind of getting into the point of the Song of Moses. It says, "To me belongeth vengeance and recompense; their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste." Let's go to it in the Bible Hub. So this is a different version. This is the Berean Standard Bible. It says, "Vengeance is mine; I will repay in due time. Their foot will slip. For their day of disaster is near, and their doom is coming quickly. For Yahweh will vindicate his people and have compassion on his servants when he sees that their strength is gone, and no one remains slave or free." So that's what it's really getting into. He's saying that their time is coming too, and their disaster is coming quickly. And Yahweh is going to show compassion on the Israelites, not on these wicked ass people that are taking us out. And literally, they think that they're righteous for taking us out. Somehow they I don't know where they get that from, but let's get it real quick. Zechariah 11:5. "Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell the say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not." So it's showing you that they don't believe that they're doing anything wrong is the whole point. They think that this is the true right way. They're willing to kill to make people listen to what their doctrine is. So let's get right back into it. Go to got a little blurry there for a second, huh? A little blurry right there. I don't know why. But anyway, let's get back into it. Going to verse 7. So when the first was dead after this manner, they brought the second to make him a mocking stock. And when they had pulled off the skin of his head with the hair, they asked him, "Wilt thou eat before thou be punished throughout every member of the body?" But he answered in his own language and said, "No." Wherefore he also received the next torment in order as to the former did. So what he's saying is they gave him a chance to they gave him a chance. They pretty much scalped him. They ripped his, they scalped him. They took the skin and the hair and pulled his skull back so you could see his skull. And they said, "Shall we keep going, or are you going to eat the swine's flesh?" And then he spoke in his own language, "No." Wherefore he also received the next torment in order as the former did. So what did they do? They literally cut his ass up into pieces and put him in the skillet with his brother. And when he was at the last gasp, he said, "Though like a fury takest us out of the present life, but the King of the world shall rise up, who have died for his laws unto everlasting life." And that takes you right back to what I was talking about in Matthew 16 and 25. Sorry about that. And let's go ahead and read it again, because that proves it again. See, we've got to be willing. The point here is we've got to be willing to actually follow these instructions in these end times, it's going to get really tough. And so Yahweh Shem Yahushai, he actually made it real easy on us. We're not, these guys are still under all the laws. At this time, they're still under all the laws. There is no grace period at this time. So we're learning from their example of how to be diligent, how to lose your life for his sake to gain it in the kingdom. Let's read it. Let's just read it. For whosoever shall save his life shall lose it. I mean, they already peeled his skull back. You think that they're not going to finish him off? You think that he's going to be okay after that? Whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. So what does this guy share? He says, but the King of the world shall rise us up, who have died for his laws unto everlasting life. So whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. This is the example we need to live by at this time. Now, luckily for us, they're not going to make a public spectacle and dismember us in front of our families and throw us into a giant skillet. But when you don't receive the new digital subscription to society that's going to be subdermal, biometrically, I would say biometrically subdermally implanted, you're going to be like these guys were taken out quick, swift destruction. But when you can't buy, sell, you can't pay your bills, you can't drive, you can't eat. So, and they're going to treat you like a criminal for not conforming to this new system. So you're going to have a slow, horrible death, and you're going to have to watch your families die. And that's what you see in your mind. But I want to show you something real quick before you guys all decide that that we're all just going to die. Okay, I need to show you something real quick. I just wanted to show you this real quick. It's 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. Let's not forget. There hath no temptation taking you, but such is as is common to man. So let me go ahead and get that in the NLT for you. The temptation in your life are no different. The temptations, Salakia, the temptations in your life are no different from what others experience. Now, this guy has experienced the worst temptation. I am going to dismember you like I did your brother. I'm going to chop you into pieces, or you're going to eat the swine's flesh. But he's telling you this guy's already received like the worst of the temptation, and he didn't fall for it. He didn't fall for it. So the temptation in your life, the temptations in your life are no different from what others experience. So we're all going through the same stuff. Now, this guy clearly is going through a little bit more because back at this time we didn't have the grace period. So these guys at this time didn't have a grace period. So they really had to take the physical death. In our day and age, let me finish this verse. In our day and age, and Yahweh is faithful, he will not allow the temptation to be more than you can stand. When you are tempted, he will show you a way out so that you can endure. So we have a grace period at this time. So he's going to help us out. These guys, during the time of the Maccabees, were not under the grace period yet. So what did they do? They gave us an example of how to live by while we're in a grace period and having it pretty fucking easy, if I may add. I mean, we have some rough times, but these guys were getting dismembered in front of their families for not eating swine's flesh. You guys are out getting the Baconator any chance you get. Wow, this is a weak society. There's like a very low vibration, a very low spiritual vibration in this society. So they asked him if he would like to be dismembered like his first brother. Verse 8, but he answered in his own language and said, like, would he like to try the swine's flesh or be dismembered like his brother? And what did he say? He said no. In his own language. So they were speaking Lashawan Kadash. That's right. They were speaking the holy tongue. They weren't speaking Aramaic. They weren't speaking Yiddish. They weren't speaking Latin. They were speaking in their own tongue. That is Paleo Hebrew, the Lashawan Kadash. But he answered in his own tongue and said, no. Wherefore he also received the next torment in order and the form as the former did. So he was taken out after that. But like I said, these guys didn't have a grace period. So this is a perfect example for us to live by, because we have this grace period and we act like we have it the worst. Oh man, my internet went out. I can't play PlayStation 5 right now. Oh man, that's nothing, man. I can't go out with this girl I wanted to because this, that, and the third happened. It's always something about your own personal life, but you're not really wanting to take this this kingdom very seriously. Now we already know that he grasped his last breath into everlasting life. I showed you guys that, and that was Matthew 16 and 25. And to die manfully means to die with honor. And he said courageously, verse 11, and said courageously, these I have from heaven, and for his laws I despise them, and from him I hope to receive them again. So, insomuch that the king and they that were with him marveled at the young man's courage, for that he had nothing, for that he nothing regarded the pains. So this guy wasn't even worried about the pain. He's sitting there telling him straight up. He said, these I had from heaven, and for his laws I despise them, and from him I hope to receive them again. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Let's go down to verse 7. Insomuch that the king and they that were with him marveled at the young man's courage. Like, damn, this dude's for real, for real. For that he nothing regarded the pain. He didn't even care about the pain. He was going through great physical pain, not a mental distress. Or it's just like we have it so easy in this day and age. It's amazing that the Most High doesn't just destroy us all. Verse 13. Now, when this man was dead also, they tormented and mangled the fourth in the like manner. So when he was ready to die, he said thus, it is good, being put to death by man, to look for hope from Yahweh, to be raised up again by him. As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life. Let's read that again. Verse 14. That is very important right there. Let's bring it up to the top. So when he was ready to die, he said thus, it is good, being put to death by men, to look for hope from Yahweh, to be raised up again by him. As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life. So let me go ahead and show you in Revelation 2 and 10 how beautiful that is. This is Revelation 2 and 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil has cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried, and you will receive tribulation 10 days. Listen, here's the point. Here's the point. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So he said, being put to death by men, to look for hope from Yahweh, to be raised up again by him. as for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life. So he's even saying, I'm ready to die because I know that I'm dying for the truth, so I will be raised up again into everlasting life. So let's keep reading. Afterwards, they brought the fifth also and mangled him. Then looked he unto the king and said, Thou hast power over man, and thou art corruptible. Thou doest what thou wilt, yet think not that our nation is forsaken of Yahweh. So he's telling him, man, don't think that we're forsaken just because you're able to do this. We have to go through these things according to the scripture, but in the end, we're going to receive that crown of life pursuant to Revelations 2 and 10. Verse 17, but abide a while and behold his great power, how he will torment thee and thy seed. That's beautiful. You are going to receive that torment next. In other words, after him also they brought the sixth, who being ready to die said, Be not deceived without cause, for we suffer these things for ourselves, having sinned against our God. We've sinned against Yahweh. So he's admitting nobody's perfect out here. Nobody's perfect. We all deserve this. Therefore, marvelous things are done unto us. So these marvelous things are these punishments, these judgments, and really they're examples for us to live by in this day and age. These are the most courageous men you've ever heard of, and their mother. So let's keep reading. But think not thou that takest in hand to strive against Yahweh, that thou shalt escape unpunished. So remember that if anything in your life happens and you feel like you're being punished, remember this: you deserve to be punished. We all do. I deserve to be punished. The elders deserve to be punished. And I'm not saying, oh, we're all just... No, it's because nobody has lived a perfect life. So anybody that's trying to say they did, they really need to be exposed. But let's go to verse 20 and talk about the mother now. But the mother was marvelous above all. This woman was marvelous above all. Why? And worthy of honorable memory. This mother was worthy of an honorable memory. For when she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of one day, she watched all of her sons in a row be slain. She bare it with good courage because of the hope that she had in Yahweh. See that's beautiful right there. Let me get that. That is Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, also known as Sirach. Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, also known as Sirach. And I got to read this because the mother was marvelous above all and worthy of honorable memory. For when she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of one day, she bare it with good courage because of the hope that she had in the Lord. So let me read this to you in Ecclesiasticus chapter 2. If thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Now they begged everybody to turn their back on Yahweh and eat the swine's flesh and live. So that's a temptation. I'll let you keep your life. But really, if the Most High has put you in this position and they've already split your skull, why would you even think about it? But verse 2, set thy heart aright, constantly endure, make haste in time of trouble. Make not haste in time of trouble. So they weren't hasty. They weren't trying to save themselves. They weren't trying to take matters into their own hands. Instead, they were constantly enduring. In fact, verse 3, cleave unto him, depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. What's that last end? Being brought into eternity, being brought into that everlasting life. I'll be faithful unto death, but I'll receive the crown of life, right? If you're faithful unto death, you will receive the crown of life. So let me keep reading. This is very important too. Cleave unto him, depart not away, that thou may be increased at thy last end. So you can't separate yourself from these instructions. Now here's the important one. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. And what does she bear it with good courage. To be cheerful means to have faith, not to be happy. Nobody's happy to watch their children be dead, but she took it with good courage. So she was able to take it cheerfully, and she was able to be patient when she was changed to a lower state. She didn't bust out. In fact, she's honorable. She's worthy of an honorable memory. This woman went above and beyond. She had to watch every child she gave birth to be destroyed. And let me get that one last one. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Now, these guys, like I said, they're not under the grace period, so it's a little different for us. See, we have a grace period. The Most High said that He was going to give us a chance to get our minds right. But these people in the biblical times, they were set for our exam. They were put as examples for us, so we know that we're going to be. How would you say it? That anybody, like, let's go. Let's read it like this. See, we know now that if anybody were to strive against Yahweh, that he shall not escape unpunished. And you can see it with our own people right here. And then the mother ready for the same judgment. That's why I was reading Ecclesiasticus, because she departed not away. She was patient in the worst time that you could say in anybody's life. And at the end, what did they do? Let's read it. Verse 21. Yea, she exhorted every one of them in her own language, filled with courage, spirit, and striving, and stirring up her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach. She said unto them, I cannot tell how you came into my womb, for I neither gave you breath nor life, neither was I that formed the members of every one of you. Let me keep going. But doubtless the creator of the world, who formed the generations of man and found out the beginnings of the things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again. And that goes back into Matthew 16:25. As you know, regard not your own selves for his law's sake. So he's saying that you guys don't care about your own fleshly bodies for his own sake. And you know what? That's beautiful. So they were willing to die for the law, in other words. They didn't care about their own fleshly, physical bodies. They were more worried about making sure that they didn't cross Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. They know that the judgment that he could put on them is much worse than getting chopped up and thrown in a skillet alive. So, let me keep reading. I was gonna get a precept and it went away. Hold on. I remember now. Let's get it real quick, because what she was saying is, let's go back up one, because when I read 22, I cannot tell you how you came into my womb, for I neither gave you breath nor life, neither was I that formed the members of every one of you. And that's beautiful, because that reminds me of a scripture in Deuteronomy. In fact, it's Deuteronomy 32 and 39, because this is a perfect time to bring it out, since the Most High is the grand conductor. You know, he controls everything. It was already written before life itself. This is the book of life. This is the the great movie that we all have parts in, for lack of better words. But this is Deuteronomy 32 and 39. See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no God with me. I kill, I make alive. Neither. So she said, neither I cannot tell you how you came into my womb, neither for I neither gave you breath nor life. Now listen to this again. I kill, I make alive, I wound, I heal. And neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. That's beautiful. Let me see. Let me read it again. See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no God with me. I kill, I make alive, I wound, I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Not even us. We can't. I mean, unless He says deliverance, you're not delivered. He kills, He makes alive. So I wanted to bring that out because she says, for I neither gave you breath nor life. Neither was it I that formed the members of every one of you. It was the Most High. It was the Most High. So I want to keep reading because it does go into. I want to go right here. So watch. So we're gonna close out with this. Now Antiochus, thinking himself despised and suspecting it to be a reproachful speech, whilst the youngest was yet alive, did not only exhort him by words, but also assured him with oaths that he would make him both rich and a happy man if he would turn from the laws of Yahweh, that's the laws of his father, and that also he would take him from his friend. He would take him for his friend and trust him with affairs. But when the young man would in no case hearken unto him, the king called his mother and encouraged her, exhorted her, that she would counsel the young man to save his life. And when he had encouraged her with many words, she promised him that she would counsel her son. But she, bowing herself towards him, laughing the cruel tyrant to scorn, spake in her country language on this manner. This is beautiful. She spoke in Lashon Kadash. She went back to the Paleo Hebrew. O my son, have pity upon me that bare thee 9 months in my womb and gave suck 3 years, gave thee suck 3 years, and nourished thee, and brought thee up unto this age, and endured the troubles of education. I beseech thee now, my son, look upon the heaven and the earth, and all that is therein, and consider that Yahweh made them of things that were not, and so was mankind made likewise. Fear not this tormentor, but being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death, that I may receive thee again in mercy with thy brethren. She's literally telling him, be faithful unto death and receive your crown of life also. Isn't that beautiful? Be faithful unto death, son, and you go receive your crown of life so I can have you in the kingdom with your brothers. Don't listen to this guy. Verse 30, whilst she was yet speaking these words, the young man said, whom wait ye for? I will not obey the king's commandment, but I will obey the commandment of the law that was given unto our fathers by Moses. And thou that hast been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews shalt not escape the hands of God. For we suffer because of our sins. So the example here today, people, is that be faithful unto death to receive your crown of life. The Most High told us, like, in this day and age, we have grace period. We're soft as a pillow compared to our forefathers. We're literally soft as a pillow. So what we have to do is a very simple thing. We just have to come back to the truth and start following the instructions again. And then, it's going to get rough out there. We've got Jacob's trouble coming, and it's right here at the doorstep. We can see what they're getting ready to do in the government. Now, if you were one of the prophets, the elder apostles, the prophets, or the teachers, or even a disciple, you already knew that when this new guy got into the office, that he was just going to corrupt everything. And in the name of peace, he shall destroy many. I mean, he's doing that, man. They're fulfilling prophecies so fast you can barely keep up with it. But right now, we need to stay in tune with our faith. We need to keep the laws. We have to. And I'm not saying, I'm not no IUIC bullshit. I'm saying you're going to keep the laws to the best of your ability, according to your knowledge, and you're going to apply what you learn to your life that you know you can do. It's that simple. Some things it seems like you can do them, but it kind of singles you out as an Israelite. That's where it becomes circumspect. Like with the fringes. I used to wear fringes all the time. And I realized that it wasn't very wise of me when you have people like IUIC and ISUPK literally fist fighting on a street corner, and the onlookers see this, and now whenever they see fringes, they go, "Oh, he's one of those guys. Those guys are violent." So yeah, there are some things that seems like we can do, but you just really have to be circumspect in this day and age. So with that being said, if you got eyes to see and ears to hear, I hope you got something out of this message. Shalom.